got to declare that you're so holy, Lord.
He's from the city, but yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, you know what, Miss Young? When you get old.
Only one word to describe. Just one word comes to mind.
This is the magic.
When I get into his presence, only one thing to say.
Singing with the angels, singing with the host of heaven, join in the song. I sing, holy Lord. Cast our crowns at your feet, Jesus.
You know, you can say, I'm acknowledge all the work you're doing because I want you to get your cake.
One word comes to mind.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pastor Kerwin Manning, KerwinManning, and I happen to be the pastor / head coach of Pasadena Church, the Church with No Limits. We welcome you here to our East Campus. We're thankful that you all have shown up and these wonderful people have shown up to assist us today. I call it a ministry of presence. And your being here is already encouraging a community that's been devastated. So we're going to move forward. We're going to ask the Lord's blessing on this event, and then I'm going to turn it over to Attorney Crump. So, Father, we just thank you, Lord God, for another opportunity, Lord, to come together and to provide resources, Lord God, and point people to help, Lord, a devastated community. We thank you, Lord, that your word is true that says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, to those who are crushed in spirit. And we pray, Father, that we can be and play a role in helping bring this community back. Altadena and Pasadena needs you like we've never needed you before. And we pray, God, that you would bless our time together. We declare Isaiah 61:3 that says the Lord gives beauty for ashes. And Father, by faith, we believe that out of these ashes, beauty's going to rise. So we thank you for it, give you praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Now I want to introduce to you Attorney Ben Crump. Let's receive him as he comes today.
Thank you so much. Y'all, we want to thank Pastor Manning and the Pasadena Church, this great cathedral, not just for the physical presence here today, but the presence it has had in the community and making sure they get through these trials and tribulations. You, Pastor Manning, and your congregation are truly an example of the Lord's commandment, love thy neighbor. Let's give him another great round of applause. And I got to meet his mother-in-law earlier, and she was one of the victims who lost everything too in the fire. So it's very personal to so many people. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, and I have the pleasure of working with a great attorney, one of the leading trial lawyers in America, Attorney Ann Andrews and her team. And you're going to hear from her, but I know she brings a wealth of experience in dealing with these tragic wildfires, not only in the Malibu fire litigation, but also in the Maui, Hawaii litigation. She is one of the most fierce warriors in the courtroom I've ever been with. And I just want to say thank you, Attorney Andrews, for all your good work. And we have Attorney Kim DeJoyner, we have Attorney Camila Moore, Attorney Thurgood when Camila was born here in Altadena. Her mother still serves on the town council. She headed up the California Reparations Task Force. So she was born for this moment to come and fight for this Altadena multicultural, beautiful community. Thank you so much, Camila, for everything you do. And it's our pleasure to have as a co-counsel with us Attorney Earl Robinson, who also was born in Altadena, and his family, I mean, everybody has stories like this, but his family lost 12 properties that, I mean, his one family, 12 properties, they lost businesses. I mean, the generational wealth that has been lost in this tragedy is overwhelming for our community, because let's make sure we understand, for many Black people who lived in Altadena, these homes and their land represented generational wealth. We didn't have stocks and bonds to lead our children. We didn't have companies and corporations to leave our children, but we had these homes that many of them lived in for 10, 20, 30, 40, some of them as many as 50 years, building generational wealth to leave to our children, and they could leave to their children so they could start off in life with something. And so we have to make sure that these vultures don't come in and try to take these Black people homes. And that's what we vowed to fight. And so the reason we're here having this press conference before we have the town hall meeting, and you hear from all the great community partners who are committed to making sure that no one is left behind. No one is swept under the rug. No one is marginalized, and no one is treated like a second-class citizen. We're here to talk to all of them and hear their stories and answer their questions. Attorney Andrews and I have been talking to the leadership of the state about things that we can do right now. I know the litigation will take years, but you need help right now. Today, tomorrow, how to get to next week. So that's what we're dealing with this town hall meeting. And before we do that, you know, as I said last press conference with Zaire Calvin, when we announced that we filed the lawsuit on behalf of his sister, Evelyn McClendon, you know, houses and property can be rebuilt, but human life can never be replaced. And tragically, we believe because of the actions and inactions of Southern California Consolidated Edison Energy Company, who knew on January 3rd the warning should have been put out, the power should have been de-energized, that his sister, Evelyn McClendon, this angel, this school bus driver, this pillar in the community who was beloved by all, would still be with us. We could rebuild the homes, but we would never be able to replace his sister. And we are announcing today the filing of 2 additional lawsuits. One for the family of Earlene Kelly, an 83-year-old queen in the Altadena community. I mean, people marvel when they talk about her. She had worked one job for 50 years. She was a pharmaceutical tech, and her husband was a pharmaceutical tech. They served this community lovingly and proudly, making a difference, and was intentional about being in Altadena. Just like you heard many stories, they used the GI Bill to be able to purchase their home in the 70s, and over the years it accrued value and more value. And now Trevor and his sister are left with ashes. But even worse than that, they're left without their mother, because like so many of our brothers and sisters, especially our senior citizens, they were not able to evacuate in time. And so you're going to hear from Trevor this morning talk about who his mother was and what was lost, not just to his family, but to Altadena community and to the world. She was a special soul, and she won't be able to be replaced. And we will fight to make sure that we get justice for her, just like we're fighting for Miss McClendon. And then we also are representing Eric Nicholson, the son of Mr. Rodney Nicholson. And I know that name rings familiar to many of you all in Los Angeles, because it was his grandfather that built and developed the Nicholson Gardens apartment complex that is iconic in Los Angeles. I mean, we're talking about these Black people who gave so much to Los Angeles, having their lives needlessly and senselessly taken away when it could have been prevented if they had more notice. And so that's what this lawsuit is about, to get justice not only for the community of Altadena as it relates to property loss, but more importantly, it's about the loss of his sister and his mother and Mr. Nicholson's children and so many others. We can't let them be swept under the rug. I know a lot of news is going on in the world, but we have to make sure that people don't forget about Altadena, that they don't let the vultures come in and steal Altadena. This beautiful multicultural community is going to be even better as we rebuild it stronger. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. So after you hear from Attorney Andrews and then Attorney Robinson to tell you a little bit about his personal story, you're going to hear from these two individuals who lost the most of anybody. And then we will try to take your questions, and then we'll transition to the town hall, and you'll hear from some people who came cross country, like Denny's and Central Kitchen, to make a difference. We have the American Red Cross, we have FEMA, people here to talk about how you make it through. But the first person who's going to talk to you is a woman, like I said, she's been on the front lines in California, Hawaii, talking about how we help people make it through. So y'all please give your attention to Attorney Ann Andrews, my co-counsel.
Thank you for that introduction, Ben. I'm always so inspired to work with you, by your side, and for all these people. And if I get emotional, it's because I've come to too many meetings like this, where people have lost their loved ones while people are suffering, and how communities will struggle to rebuild. But here's what my message is today. Being in touch with the Attorney General's office, being in touch with the governor's office. We will represent people in helping them regain what they lost, but more importantly, we're going to represent all of you and every member of this community in rising up to make change, and to be sure that the first and most important thing you must do is go out there and tell every member of your community, every person that you know, every person that you lived with, that you love, that is part of why Altadena is so special and important in California, that you tell them not to leave, to stay here, to rise with you, to rise with all of us, because we will rise. Because if you leave, I can't help you. We can't help you. Encourage people to stay. My message today is one of hope, and here's what I want you to understand. Over the past several days, the governor has moved into executive bills, executive orders, a number of things you've been watching: moratoriums on mortgages, moratoriums on taxes. We're going to work to make those things permanent. What I want you to know is that the safety issues and what the governor has said, that there's going to be a very, very urgent and accelerated plan to demolish structures and to make the land safe for you to reoccupy quickly. And I mean quickly. He also moved a bill, the legislature moved a bill to advance $2.5 billion of recovery fund immediately available for those of you that have lost so much. So we should thank and respect and honor our legislature, but we as lawyers are going to be watching them. We're also going to insist, and we're getting lots of respect for all of you and understanding about how this happened. So you'll see Attorney Crump and all of us at hearings in Sacramento and wherever we're allowed to investigate and find out why this happened the way it did. I want you to know, Ben talked about my reputation nationally. First and foremost, I am a Californian. The devastation in this state and how to prevent it is part of our legislative mission. I have family in Altadena. I grew up in some ways here with my very beloved brother, with my niece and nephew, my godson. They've been evacuated. My house has been full of their family members waiting to be able to come back to their homes. I stand with you. We all need to bring Altadena back to the glory that it was. And I know for a fact, with all of you staying here and being part of the future of rebuilding, as we will, and we will do it quickly, and we will be pushing for all the things you need to rebuild. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to promise you from all of us that we will rise, that we will rebuild Altadena, and the funds that you need and things that you need right now will be provided, and we're a resource to help you get there, whatever you need. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you so much, Attorney Andrews. And I know, like we talked about in the last town hall, and we'll get into it, being able to help you make insurance claims for what you lost, and that meticulous process where you got to prove the value of your home and your belongings and so forth. And I know there's a tendency. I've been a civil rights lawyer now for almost 28 years, but I've been black all my life. So I know they always try to devalue us and everything, and we're not going to let them devalue us. We're going to say to them, no, our loss matters just as much as anybody else lost. Black tears are just as painful as white tears. And we got to make sure we continue to tell them that we want to be made whole. We don't want 3/5 justice. We want complete justice. Complete justice. Full justice. And so we're going to talk about that. I want to just thank all these wonderful activists, people like Ash, people like Najee Ali, people like Senate, and the Always for the People Foundation, people who've been on the front line every day getting donations, giving people hope, telling them, if you don't have a place to stay, we can take you to a warehouse where we built up living quarters for people just to be able to shower and be able to get toiletries and a warm meal. That's what it's about, just trying to get through the day. And then as we get through this day, we'll concentrate on the next day and the next day and the next day. And by then, we'll realize that not only can we survive this tribulation, but we're going to thrive. We're going to not just survive, this community is going to thrive. As I said before, we hear from the family members, we have another incredible lawyer who's right here from Altadena. In fact, you hear from both of them. You'll hear from Attorney Earl Robinson, and then you hear from the native daughter, Camila Moore. Earl, he was telling me about the losses, and I couldn't believe one family lost so much generational wealth, but I'm proud to be on the team with them, and we're going to make sure not only we help your family, Earl, we're going to help everybody's family. Y'all give a round of applause for Earl Robinson as he addresses you all.
Well, since we're in the house of the Lord, I'd like to thank God for everybody that's here today, and thank the pastor for opening the doors of the church to allow us to have this press conference in this town hall. That said, I don't stand before you just as an attorney or part of this team, and we have an esteemed panel here, and I like to acknowledge my esteemed colleagues behind me, but also stand before you as a native son of Altadena in Pasadena. See, I grew up on 145 West Mariposa Street, just below Altadena Drive, in between Fair Oaks and Glen Rose, those that know the area. That's right. I went to Burbank Elementary. I went to Franklin Elementary. I went to Altadena Elementary. I went to Elliott Middle School, which suffered significant fire damage as a result of this tragedy. I went to Pasadena High School. I'm entrenched in this community. I grew up playing basketball in the parks with my buddy Zaire right here. That's what we did. This is my home. And to see it suffer the damage to the point where it's become unrecognizable to me. When I saw the damage that was sustained by my family, my whole neighborhood, the street where I grew up, spending the night at my friend's house, gone. My parents' house, gone. Cared for in my time backyard and keeping the stable yard. Firework up north, gone. The horse was burnt to a crisp. Luckily, my mother didn't have to see it. See, these are the stories that people don't tell you. When you look and when they scan the area, when I saw the video of my neighborhood, I didn't recognize, I didn't know what someone was showing me. I couldn't even recognize it until I saw a car parked in front of my mother's house. And my parents had to evacuate with just the clothes on their backs. They couldn't save anything. There are no heirlooms. There are no pictures. There are no photos. Everything's gone. I have other family members that are attached to me, extended family members, some of which were on Good Day LA. And 8 family members, houses gone, wiped out. I have extended family that is attached to my daughter, prominent businessmen in the community who own real estate developments, had a real estate company, gone. His real estate company burned to the ground. His home that was up in the hills in Altadena, gone. These are the things that affect me personally. And when I hear that people want to develop and they want to move my family members and everybody else that looks just like them out of the community, well, then that impassions me. That emboldens me. And make no mistake, we're not here for the sake of exploitation or opportunism. It's not why we're here. We're here for recovery, restoration, and accountability. That's what we're here for. Now, the time will come when everybody will discuss and talk about litigation. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about making everybody whole. And we want people to get help. We want people to be restored and have some sense of normalcy. Because if you look at the hills and you look at Altadena, there is nothing normal about it. You won't recognize a thing. Looks like a bomb went off there. And so now we're gonna try and assemble, and we're gonna do everything we can to help this community. And we just hope that you will embrace us in trying to effectuate that effort. All right? And we thank you all for coming out because you didn't have to spend your time. But thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Attorney Robinson. You think about family, and normally you can go to another family member if you lose everything, but when everybody in the family loses all their homes, where do you go? Where do you go? The last person you're gonna hear from, because she and people like Ash and Senate, they have been living it. It's 2 weeks now, and I don't think she's gotten more than 5 hours of sleep on any one of those days. And she represents hope for the future for our community in so many ways. She headed up the reparations task force that we keep fighting for, because we know what that means. But right now she's focused on this fight for Altadena. Attorney Camila Moore.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Camila Moore, and I, along with my colleague Thurgood Wynn, we head up the Los Angeles office of Attorney Benjamin Crump's law firm. As Attorney Crump stated, I am partly from Altadena. I grew up in Leimert Park and Altadena. I went to a charter school called NIA Charter School at Metropolitan Baptist Church on Fair Oaks and Woodbury. I also went to PHS. Our clients went to Muir. So, this is a tight-knit community, right, in Altadena and Pasadena. And, I'm not going to be long because this is very emotional for me. My parents have a home in Altadena by Altadena Elementary School. They're currently displaced right now. And so this hits very home to me, these fires. And so I just want to say, after this press conference, we're going to go straight into the town hall where you will hear directly from people from FEMA and Red Cross to get additional resources. There's folks outside tabling from nonprofits that are offering some information around grants. There's another table with a Black-owned construction and insurance company. So we have all sorts of resources here available for you all to tap into. We have Denny serving breakfast from 8 to 2, and we have a smash burger truck for lunch. So please stay around. Please continue to invite folks who have been impacted. The last thing I'll say is, I recently joined the firm 7 months ago. Before, I joined this firm, I was doing entertainment law. And so, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't wish what's going on in our community on anyone, but I just want to say that, we're here and we're going to fight to get the justice that this community deserves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Moore. And now he's truly become almost like a spokesperson for Altadena. When the tragedy happened and they discovered that his sister didn't make it, they all thought she had evacuated him, and his son was focused on getting his 80-year-old mother out of her house because she couldn't walk, and they knew that if they didn't get his mother out, she would perish. And, we had long talks. He felt like I should have checked on my sister. I just assumed she was going. And it's almost like survivor's remorse. And I tell him he shouldn't feel any guilt at all. If anything, he's a hero for saving his mother. So Zaire Calvin, the brother of Evelyn McClendon, is going to talk to you again about not only who she was, but why we fight, and we will continue to fight. Mr. Zaire Calvin.
First, I want to thank God for bringing everybody together. And like Earl Robb and everybody say, we literally grew up playing basketball our whole lives. And when we say community and loved ones and losing life, this is a real thing. This isn't a script. This isn't fun. This isn't enjoyable. So for anybody who doesn't understand, it's just a lot for our community. And all we want to do is to be made whole. We want to make sure that that Edison is held responsible for this, because I'm shaking right now because you guys don't understand. Like, for you to lose people, and I have a brother right there who lost somebody, like, for you to really know that these people aren't coming back, and that no matter what we do, they won't be able to experience this new Altadena. That's what y'all don't understand. Yeah, we may be able to experience it, but they won't. So do not leave. Be here. All the people of Altadena, the community, stick together as much as we can, and let's just rebuild and rebuild. It's hard. Like I said, yes, it's because it's not just for my sister. My Evelyn, Evelyn McClendon, she was a bus driver. She graduated from Loyola Marymount. She never harmed anyone. All she wanted to do was praise God, praise Jesus, and and live her life. She became more of a recluse later on in life because of corporate America, but she was a loving bus driver who that's all her life was about. Literally praising it. That's all I would hear out the door is her talking about Jesus and what somebody else is doing and how God's going to bring this together and this is going to happen and watch for the rapture. And just, the guy, somebody who's really into that, but her whole life was that. The part that bothers me the most, and that's about all of the people who've given back, is she did not deserve to die like that. What are you talking about? She burned up. I'm just being real. Like his mom burned up. There people burn up in the damn fire. That shit is, sorry, excuse me. It's not cool is what I'm saying. None of it. So I'm just being honest, and everything's gonna come from the heart when I say, and I mean, I appreciate all the love and all the people who have supported, which the community definitely has, and people, and I just want to thank you guys for that.
Thank you very much, Zaire, for your passion and your conviction. Now you're here from Mr. Trevor Kelly. This is his first time at a press conference, so it's always emotional, but he's gonna talk to you about who his mother was and what he wants for not only his family, but for the community. Mr. Trevor Kelly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trevor Howard Kelly. I'm the son of Erlene Louise Kelly. My mom and dad, they came to California in 1966. I was born, my dad was in the Navy, and I happened to be born in the Navy. So the story that I got from him is he went to the Navy and tried to become a fighter pilot. Unfortunately, the Navy had some racist rules where they were not allowing blacks to go in that field. So he chose the next best thing, which was a air traffic controller. So he moved to Pasadena and he waited 2 years for his GI Bill to come. Him and my mom both got a job at Thrifty Drugs, which is now called Rite Aid. They both started off scooping ice cream in 1968 for $1.60 an hour. And they eventually ended up working for that same company for 30 years. But I want to talk about my mother. My mother was the heart and soul of our family and the heart and soul of this community. There was no place that my mother could go without anyone noticing her or just knowing her name. After 30 years of service, my mom wanted to retire, but the company refused to pay her retirement. So she had to take legal action. She was a fighter. Yes. My dad, 30 years in the company as well, and upon retirement, they wanted to stop his retirement, so he had to take legal action. So our family is a family. They taught us how to fight for what's right. And right now, and right now, when my mom retired, she went into volunteering. She volunteered at the Elder Center and every youth center that you can imagine. When I turned professional as a golf professional in 2009, when I didn't have a job, my mother made me go to the parks and local parks and recreation and give back to the community for no money. I didn't want to do it, but she forced me to do it, and I enjoyed it. And she's special. I just want to say this, and I'm right now, I'm so angry. I just cannot shake being angry at my mom not being able to be saved from that wicked fire. I've been living in Altadena so long. My nickname happens to be Alta Trev. If anybody knows me, they know me. That's how much I love Altadena. I got it tattooed on my stomach because this is a place where my mom and dad ended up at. God placed us here. And my mother and father always talked about this home is going to be passed down to you, your kids, and their kids. And unfortunately, we're going to keep her promise. And we're going to stay here.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Y'all, yeah, just Rev, keep them in prayer. You go through the emotions, it's hurt, grief, and then you do get angry. You asked all kind of questions about, why didn't the energy company de-energize the energy when the law said you were supposed to do it when you got the weather warning? And then you all kind of questions. Why didn't West Altadena get the evacuation notice? I mean, it's so many things that we have to have these questions answered, not just so we can have the basis of our claims, but so we can prevent it from happening in the future. We can never let them do this to our community again. At this time, we'll take, Attorney Andrews and I'll try to take most of your questions. Obviously, if you have them for the family, we will, if they can answer them, they will answer them. So we'll open it up for Q&A before we transition to the town hall. Any questions? Mr. Shea? Yes, sir.
I was wondering if you was from your illustrious team can tell the community how important it is to get the right representation.
Well, thank you. That obviously, we think that you need advocates. It ain't gonna be easy, Al. It is not gonna be easy. Ann can tell you from personal experience, Mrs. Shea, what happens is they wanna test your perseverance. They wanna see if you got the will to wanna fight for what is your birthright, what your parents left you. Because, we know the legacy of Black Wall Street when it burnt. What many people don't realize, the very next month, you had these white developers come in, just take the land and develop it. It's not lost on anybody that land in Los Angeles is some of the most valuable real estate on planet Earth. And the fact that you got the Olympics coming, and I mean, it's gonna be this all-out attack on trying to get your land. And so what we want to do every day is give you the information that you need to starve off the vultures, to make sure you're engaged, to make sure you're educated, and make sure you're empowered. That's what it's about, empowering our community to be able to withstand the onslaught. And we're going to get real technical here in a minute, but that's what it's about, making sure you don't lose because you did not know. And having the right advocates matter. People who care, people who you seen fight battles for our community. Before I turn it over to Ann to probably get more technical things, I just believe that it is about raising the value of our Black lives and our Black life experiences. Because right now, more than ever, they're trying to marginalize us and say we don't matter. I mean, we got to say, if nobody else said, that we are unapologetic defenders of Black life, Black liberty, and Black humanity. And do you want to talk about some of the technical things that we know are coming?
Yeah, I think I can help answer that question. So when you're looking for representation, I think it's important that it's not just about your case and about a dollar value on the beautiful things you lost or the loss of life that we can't put a value on, but we will try. But it's about a commitment from your legal team to this community that we will be here after the case is over. We'll be in Sacramento, we'll be in DC, we'll be wherever this takes us to be sure that you are heard, that the laws are passed to protect gouging contractors, to protect people, unsolicited requests to buy your land, all the things that you're afraid of right now, to clear the land, to be sure it's safe to occupy again. We're going to be on the front line, not just in the courtroom, but in the legislature and in the hearing rooms to be sure what this community needs goes on after the cases are over. And as those promises are made in law to protect that ridge and the next ridge with a tower on it from this happening again. We have the skills to do it. When I lecture about this, I say, if you don't like the law or the law has hurt you, find lawyers that will change it. And that's what we're doing. Talking to your legislators, talking to your chief legal officer, Attorney General Rob Bonta, talking to Governor Newsom's office to be sure you'll be heard. And the whole state needs to be protected from this happening again, but it's going to start right here. And that's a commitment that you want from any professional that represents you in any way. And that's our commitment.
Yeah. And Attorney Andrews, can you get, because I know we've talked a lot strategy, Alan, what she said about making sure the land is clean and so forth, that becomes important, that it's done in a timely manner so people can see that they can start to rebuild and so forth. Can you share about that?
Well, so demolishing the skeletons of what's left on the land, right? The things that melted in your homes where you occupied for so many years in the community that melted into the home, we have to scrape the land. And that will be done by a series of contractors that the state will bring in with the proper testing of the soils, of the air and the water to be sure that you come back to your community safe and in an environmentally protected way so that you can reoccupy the land. That's first and foremost. We have a commitment from the governor's office to do that in a very, very accelerated fashion compared to other fires where we've waited and pleaded in island states in Hawaii. That's impossible to try to service a huge, to try to service a population on an island. We have the resources here. And the governor's promised them, dedicated the resources to them this morning in the $2.5 billion bill. And you're going to see us constantly updating you in these meetings and in other kinds of forums where we're telling you what is going to happen and how fast it's going to happen. And we're here to be sure it does happen. Stay in this community. Have your friends stay here. Have your business owners stay here. We promise you it will be rebuilt. And it will be, I can't find the words to explain what it will look like, but I know you will, and the community will have a huge impact on what it looks like and how it feels. And all of these great leaders and lawyers and survivors of these fires will be here and part of this dialogue to be sure it's the way you want it as a community. No developers, no carpetbaggers, no people coming to this community to take things because people are afraid they can't afford to stay here. We'll get you the resources, and that's what you need from representation. People who will do real things for real people.
Yeah, and we would definitely fight for the resources. I will say this, it is very important. She was talking about those things that we have to do for the land to get you back. I can't overstate the insurance claims. You pay your premium every month and how they're going to try not to honor the claims and so forth. That's going to be important. So we have representatives like Kim and Thurgood, Earl, who are going to be working with you, our paralegals. We have a whole team of people that you can call one-on-one and try to help fill out those forms because it's important. I know you're going to hear from the FEMA representatives, Attorney Moore, been talking to them because that's another immediate help to help you. And experts to be able to show the cause of fire, the negligence to the loss of life and the loss of property. We're invested in this battle. And that's one of the things you can know if you got the right advocates, people who have invested in it. They have put their, not just their money, their time, but their energy into making sure that you have somebody on the front line who ain't scared to fight. A lot of times people just scared to fight Goliath, where we Davids are used to fighting the Goliaths. So come on, Kai Energy, and whoever else may come. So hopefully I answered your question. Yes, sir. We're going to. Well, it's very clear that he's the president of the United States. That means he's the president of the whole United States, not just the president of Palisade and those more affluent Hollywood Hills community, but he has to also be president for Altadena and the communities that need federal intervention the most. You know, a lot of questions has to be answered here, and we all have to watch, and we have to hold people accountable. It's about accountability. Once you have accountability, then you prevent things like this from happening in the future. That's why we're holding the energy company accountable. We want to hold everybody accountable who had anything to do with the loss of life and property. I know me and Zaire talked late at night talking about things that went wrong that should have not happened and how we prevent it from happening again. So that is our message to not just the president, but all elected leaders, that you all have to be leaders for everybody. Okay, well, we take a question from the press, then we're gonna go to the town hall. Any more questions from the press? If not, we thank you all for coming, and we'll keep you updated. If you want a copy of the lawsuit, we will get you a copy of the lawsuit.
Media only. Transition to our town hall.
Okay.
We're going to take questions from the audience.
And as we transition to the town hall, if we can get the representatives from Denny's as well, who has some special announcements and gifts for the community. Also, FEMA and Red Cross, if your representatives will come up, we appreciate it.
And we're going to take questions after FEMA, Red Cross, and Denny's.
Because they may answer your question, and then it's real simple. We have tables here with your question about resources, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You come on over here, sir. I'm also glad that where's the brother?
All I want to know, is there going to be a play-by-play book for us homeowners as far as?
No, there's a.
Waiting for answers.
Yeah. That's an excellent question. Everybody hear his question?
I was saying.
You just listen to this question.
I've been told that people like me and Alan were out there, boots on the ground. And me being a homeowner, I'm interested. I'd like knowing to know. And one thing I've been hit with from my architect, I don't need that. From my architect is everybody is waiting for an answer from the EPA. Okay, nobody touch the debris on their property until we hear an answer that hopefully you will step up the game.
Yes, sir.
For us to get an answer from the EPA for everybody, including Palisade, but at least for us out here, when can we legally and safely go on our property? Because me and my sister went up there, and yes, there's debris, because I still have stuff in my debris that I would like to get, things that I know that don't burn, like my gold and my silver and diamond stuff that don't burn.
You want it back,
to go on the property to do cleanup, because cleanup by itself, especially me and Alan's property, at least 40 to 70 grand.
Right.
And we need to know
We-
from the EPA.
We got the
when can we do
question.
that? Yeah.
So
That's
can
an
I?
excellent question, so let's try to answer it.
So let me just answer about the EPA quickly. So it's a federal agency. They're working hand in hand with FEMA. The president coming here, it's now been a transition of power. Know that your state is engaged with the EPA. This gentleman's goals of having his land be declared safe under federal standards, there'll be sign-offs from various agencies at state and county levels for the safe levels to be sure that there's no toxicity in those processes. They should be here. We
I'm
will
sorry.
find out when they'll arrive,
sorry
but
to
it should be
interrupt.
very
A
soon.
car is being told.
There's a black Toyota right parked outside in front of someone's house. Your car's gonna be towed. It's a black Toyota. Move your car, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that was a
No,
basic
well,
question to start the town hall. Okay.
I'm just concerned.
No.
It's a concern.
Wes has a very legitimate question. Let's have the representative talk, and let's talk in details. I know if you know Alan,
Yeah.
we gonna get to the bottom of giving step by step.
Yeah.
And the first part is to keep pushing them because they slow drag it.
Right.
They may be taking care of other parts of the community. We need them to come and push our community.
And the only reason why, and I'll leave it alone, the only reason why I say that,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of us sitting in here, we can afford renting Bobcats and hire our own crew. At least I know I can. But I need to know, when can I legally go up to my land, start sifting through stuff, and get rid of it, which brings to another point that I forgot to mention. You got to fight for this.
Uh-huh.
Where is the new dump site going to be at?
And we got to get answers to all those questions. That's what Attorney Andrews, Attorney Robertson, and all of us are going to be finding answers. That's what we got to keep pushing. So you give us the question. If we don't get the answers, we'll file court papers to get the answers. I'm going to give it to Camila for a second, and then we want to get to your questions. Attorney Moore?
Okay, thank you so much. So now we're going to transition into the town hall. We have an announcement from the Red Cross, and she will also provide Spanish translation as well. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Pineda Ramirez. I'm the local executive director of the San Gabriel Pomona Valley chapter here for the American Red Cross. We would like to let the public know that the Red Cross has started its immediate financial assistance program. You will be receiving 3 forms of communication. The first one is a text message. Please follow all of the instructions and note that it is not a scam. It is the Red Cross reaching out to everyone impacted inside of the perimeter of the fires. If there is no response, then you will receive an email. And then if there is no response to the email, you will receive a phone call. But if you would like to know that it is the Red Cross that you were talking to, you are also welcome to go to our website at redcross.org/gethelp and fill out the form there, or you can call 1-800-RED Cross. We recommend everyone tell your friends, your family, everyone that has been impacted. Perhaps you're not here, but you're still in communication with them. We are trying to help everyone. As we know, people have been displaced. They're staying as far as Ontario, Long Beach. They're all over LA region. If you know people who have been impacted, let them know Red Cross is here to help. Hola, mi nombre es Diana Pineda Ramírez, soy la directora ejecutiva de la Cruz Roja Americana aquí para el Valle de San Gabriel y Pomona. Les queremos decir a todos que la Cruz Roja está aquí para ayudar a todos impactados adentro del perímetro de los incendios aquí en Los Ángeles. Nosotros les vamos a mandar 3 formas de comunicación. La primera va a ser un texto, por favor. Sigan las instrucciones. Es la Cruz Roja, no es fraude. Si no responden, luego les vamos a mandar un correo electrónico, y si no responden, luego les vamos a mandar una llamada, les vamos a llamar. Pero si ustedes quieren estar seguros que es la Cruz Roja Americana con la que se están comunicando, por favor, llamen a 1-800-733-2767. O también puede visitar a lacruzrojamericana.org. It's also really important to note that receiving Red Cross assistance will not interfere or, take away from anything you're receiving from FEMA. It will also not affect any of your insurance claims. So please ensure that you are receiving our assistance as well. Our assistance also helps with long-term recovery. Red Cross is here to help the community for the long term. So once you're in our system and you are assigned to a caseworker, we have an extensive databases of partners who are willing to provide resources for the long term. Once your homes are rebuilt and you're in our system, we'll be able to facilitate those connections for all of you who need that aid. Thank you so much, and we'll be right outside for any more information.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Email, you have an email?
Yes, my email is diana.pineda-ramirez@redcross.org. My apologies, it is very long, but I will be right outside and happy to help with that. And the website is redcross.org/gethelp. And again, the phone number is 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Thank you so much. Give her a round of applause for being here. And next we want to, if you got some of those good pancakes and breakfast, we couldn't not say thank you to Denny's. And we have one of their vice presidents, an executive from their home office in Spartanburg, South Carolina, who came all the way to Los Angeles to be here, as they've done many times before, to try to help the community heal. We can never say thank you enough to the Denny's family. Miss April Kelly Drummond.
Thank you. To the pastor here and the congregation, thank you for opening up your doors for the Denny's brand to be here. As Benjamin Crump has said earlier, he's a good friend of the Denny's brand. We thank you for, as soon as he heard about what you're doing, you sent me a text.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, the flyer, and said, hey, you're in LA? I'm like, yeah, we're here. So I have the honor and pleasure of representing our CEO, which is Kelly Valade, and our president, Chris Bodie, as well as several franchisees across the country. People don't realize, they know about Denny's and we're breakfast, but we have 1,700 restaurants across the country and 144 international. But our largest franchisees base is in California, right here. And I have a pleasure of being here with two of our franchisees, Sam and Dave, that's here. And they represent several California restaurants. We have actually 354, I want to say, right now. Wow. They came together, all these franchisees, we call them the West Coast franchisees, and they said, yes, the truck is going to be here because our 53-foot truck comes out during natural disasters and stuff. But they got together personally and donated $50,000 of gift cards to people who are here today. We actually gave it to Tina from the pastor. So when you are in need, she has these gift cards, $20 for each family. But just besides that, before the truck got here, these franchisees got together and said, okay, the fires need to get put out. Let's open up our doors and our restaurants to give free Grand Slam and coffee to first responders. They did that before the truck got here. So I want to say thank you to them and to all of our franchisees. And then for all of you who are here, it's nothing, we're not just a restaurant. We're a center of this community. People don't realize Denny's started in California. And I've been with the brand 30 years, and I had the pleasure, I actually call it my ministry. I'm actually a PK kid too, Pastor. But it's all about giving back. And we say at Denny's, we love to feed bodies, minds, and souls. And so we're here to just to find hope, a little hope to your situation, and have a good meal on us. So we're here the entire week. We're going to be here also in the Rose Bowl area. I have a pleasure of having several of our suppliers that give all of our product for free. I have with me one of my right-hand man is right there is, I'm going to call something else. It's called my husband's name, but my work husband, right? Mr. Brown here oversees our business diversity. So he reaches out to all of our suppliers about donation. We also have a gentleman out front who oversees the truck. And then that truck came from South Carolina all the way here. And over the years, when we first started the truck in 2017, we have given over 114,000 meals. And then we have over 117,000 volunteers. But over the years, we've helped with the hurricane in North Carolina, y'all heard that happened. But this, if you take all the time that we volunteered, right, in this truck, we will have to circle the earth 3 times of how much food we have given back. And we continue to do this. We thank you for the opportunity. Thank you again. And again, Please go have a hot meal. We're here all week.
Thank you so much, April. Sam, Dave, do y'all want to say anything? They're brothers and their name is Sam and Dave. We getting the band back together again. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Camila, I know we got one more before we get to the.
Yes, so now we will have Ms. Wilson from FEMA come and speak and share some immediate resources for folks who need assistance. And then we will hear from Attorney Crump, Attorney Earl, Attorney Ann Andrews, and Attorney Kim Dagonia. They'll be sitting on a panel and we'll be taking questions from you all directly. So without further ado, we'll have Ms. Wilson from FEMA. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am first going to just say my heart goes out to everyone here in Altadena, Pasadena, everybody in LA County who has been impacted by this wildfire. And I want you to know that FEMA is here. We are currently accepting applications for everyone who has been impacted. And we say if you have been impacted in any way, whether your home is standing or not, or whether you were in an evacuation zone and had to leave and your home is still there, we still encourage you to apply for FEMA assistance after you've filed a claim with your insurance, because you've heard, many of you have heard me say we can't duplicate benefits, and most of you are hearing that as it relates to GoFundMe. So I'm going to hit on that really quickly. So we say we can't duplicate benefits, and all that means is if GoFundMe, if you have a GoFundMe page that says I'm raising money to buy a car, then when you come and apply for FEMA assistance, we cannot pay or give you money to buy a car. We can still consider your application for things like housing, hotel lodging, displacement assistance, food. A GoFundMe page does not disqualify you from FEMA assistance, and I really want to make that very clear. And if I can, really quickly, I'm going to touch on the EPA thing. Please. The EPA is currently in communities removing some of those hazardous materials like asbestos, like lithium batteries, like propane tanks that are very hazardous to our health. And they go in and they wear protective gear to protect themselves. And so we really want to make sure that those types of items are removed from properties before we allow you back up there. That is the first phase of the debris removal. The second phase is going to be that ash removal. And this is very, very important. And please, please hear me, because the United States Army Corps of Engineers will be responsible for removing that ash, okay? And they cannot go onto your property unless you give them permission. So please, I'm going to provide a phone number. I want you to take this number down, and you can call this number and get information on how you can sign what is called a right of entry, or they will call it an ROE. Okay, you have to sign that ROE to give them permission to go onto your property to remove some of that debris. Okay, if you do not do that, you may be responsible for the costs associated with that. Okay,
Everybody got that?
let me give you that number. It is 844-347-3332. Okay, and then also, yes, I certainly can. 844-347-3332. And when you call that number, let them know you would like to start the process of signing a right of entry so the Army Corps of Engineers can assist with the ash removal on your property. And then just a couple more things. Inspectors, when a FEMA inspector calls you, they may reach out to you in a couple of different ways. They may actually call you. They may send you a text message. They will try you 3 times. And most of the time, it's going to come from a number that is out of state. I don't usually answer an out-of-state phone number. But if you see an out-of-state phone number on your call list, please call it back, because it very well may be a FEMA inspector. They will try you 3 times. If they do not get in touch with you, or if you don't call them back, it will stall your application with FEMA, okay? So please make sure you get back with them. And then lastly, if you have lost employment as a result of the disaster, there are disaster unemployment benefits available, okay? The state is administering that program. The EDD department, they are at our recovery centers. You can go over there and file an application if you lost your primary source of income as a result of this disaster. I'll be around. If you have questions, you absolutely may.
So I know I'm going to get these questions, and while we have the expert here, I'm going to turn to her for the answers. So for all of you that are unhomed, for all of you that are housing insecure, you might be having relatives sleep on your couch like mine were. You might have friends and family that are in temporary housing or fled to some place where they could afford. Can you kindly tell these people about the assistance that FEMA gives? And there's a very large up to an amount limit that's provided for on your website that you might want to share with them. Quite a large sum of money can be applied for with a cap on it. Would you share that with these good people?
I will, but I'm going to preface it by saying not everybody will receive that large source of money. So it's about $43,000 for the structure of a home and an additional $43,000 for the contents of a home. But I want to make it very, very clear that not everyone will receive that. And here's one reason why. If you have insurance, remember, we won't duplicate the benefits of insurance, or we won't pay for the same things that your insurance pays for. So I want to make it very clear, but here are some of the things we can assist with. If you have hotel expenses because you had to be displaced from your home, apply for FEMA assistance, save your receipts, because we will ask for your receipts, and then we may be able to reimburse some of those expenses. If you, as she said, are staying on the couch of a friend or family member, we call that displacement. You are displaced from your home. We may be able to assist with some of the costs that you incurred during that time. And when you find a place to rent, because we know this is going to be a long road ahead. Public Works told us the other day in another town hall setting that even though you've been given permission to go back up to your property, you still can't live there. And so we know that, not yet. So we know that it's going to take 6 months to a year before you can even begin the process of considering what's next for your property as they clean those grounds. So if you need rental assistance during that time, FEMA can help cover some of your rent. So please, 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 if you have not done so yet, apply for FEMA assistance. I'm going to tell you how to do that. If you have not already done that, you can do it online at disasterassistance.gov. You can call us at 1-800-621-3362. If you're friendly with tech, you can do it on a mobile app, the FEMA mobile app. Or we have right now 2 recovery centers open in LA County, one just down the street at the Pasadena City College Education Center, a City Community College Education Center. I think it's 3035 East Foothills Boulevard.
Camilla said that's right.
And so please, our teams are there. You can sit down face to face. They will talk you through each question on that application and help you complete it. So there's a lot of assistance that FEMA can help with. I'll be here if you have any more questions for probably about another hour or so. I have additional teammates out there. We are here to help. And we want to see this community recover. And I'm so glad to hear about all the strength and resilience that you all have and the support you have from the community. So thank you.
Yeah, give Ms. Wilson a great round of applause for giving us that information. Knowledge is power.
So for those of you that, and the gentleman that asked questions about what kind of representation you should have, I know from personal experience, this good woman from FEMA has her rules and has her regulations, which she is sworn to uphold in her job. And we as council help without any charge, all of the victims of fire to help them through the process, particularly if you've lost documentation or you need assistance, you need someone to support you through that process. I just want you to know, it's a government system. It will provide you benefits, but you may need help, and we're here to assist you. The law office of Ben Crump and Andrews and Thornton. We routinely do it to help anyone get the immediate needs, their immediate resources they need. And I know that's on everyone's mind. So please call us. We help you. That's what we're here for, resources and support through this struggling, very difficult time.
Now, thank you for that, Ann. And before I give it back to Attorney Moore, it's important to know, please make sure we get your information. We have people here because I know a lot of things you can't just do in a minute or two. It's going to have you with a paralegal, probably spending a couple of hours talking about how to do it. We have call centers, we have paralegals standing by to assist you. Attorney Moore, I think we have one more before we just go into Q&A.
Yes, so before we go into the panel and Q&A, we want to invite one of our community partners up, Ms. Ari from the nonprofit Rock Era. She's been out in the front. Please share the good things you all are doing for the community.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. So like she said, my name is Ari Angelique. I'm a founder of a local nonprofit called Rock Era. Rock stands for Regardless of Color, so we help underserved children in Los Angeles. Today, if you've seen in the back where we Stand with LA Fire Relief, it's a coalition of 5 organizations that have come together to help the community of Altadena and Pasadena. So with that being said, we are partnered with a local funder who has pledged $10 million. So this is, and when we say yes, and we have been partnered with them for over 5 years, and they said, you know what, Ari and Rock Era and Jessica, go out in the community and find the families. For the past almost 4 days now, we've called almost 90 families. We've been on the phone. We're here today. So we're here to support y'all and walking in God's purpose. And so anything y'all need, please, if you haven't spoken to us yet, come talk to us. When I say immediate, I'm saying soon as next week, you will have a check in your hand. And this is lost home or displaced. So God is good, and we are here just doing the work, and we're in this for the long haul. Stand with LA Relief. This is not just a quick in and out. We are going to be here for this community as long as y'all need us. We're going to be here to help rebuild. This is our co-founder, Jessica Jones.
Thank y'all for having us. I just want to put an exclamation point on what Ari just said. And in addition to home, also job displacement. So if your boss lost a home, an entrepreneur, anything like that, if you have been displaced or impacted, directly impacted, please come see us so that we can help y'all out. And then to emphasize as well, we're here to be a sustainable support. So we are coalescing for long-term. Please share your information with us. If you know somebody who knows somebody, this is just our first phase, and we intend to go as far as possible. So please don't pass our table. Please stop. If you need us, we're here. Checks, prayers, and hugs.
Yes, I was just going to say that. We like to say we're passing out checks, prayers, and hugs. So if you need a prayer or a hug or a check, come on to the back.
Is there a website or email?
This came together extremely quickly, so there is not a website or email. You can visit our nonprofit's website, Rock Era. That's ROCERA.org. And if you fill out the contact form there, it will go straight to myself or Ari. So you will be in contact with us. If you come see us, and we'll give you our number directly.
All right, because some people gonna forget that, they're gonna call Camila. So Camila, get ready, rock with us.
Yes, ROC, rock with us. Yeah.
Thank you all, you queens. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So now we're going to go into the panel and the Q&A, but we have to keep the microphone here. So we're going to have the attorneys from Andrews and Thornton speak first, if you like. And then we're going to have Attorney Crump and Attorney Earl, if they had any thoughts that they wanted to share. Okay, so after the attorneys from Andrews and Thornton present, then we're going to go straight into your questions.
That's okay. She wants to read my bio. Just, I'm a very senior status member of the bar. I've been involved in fire litigation since the horrors of 2017 in the NorCal fires. I'm a trial lawyer, so I kind of pace. So let me get close to you to find out what it is you need to hear from me. But I said some of the things in the press conference, but for some of you who haven't heard these things, know that, am I getting too far away? Sorry. I was going to treat you like my jury, but all right. I'm potted up here. Okay. But I want to get close to you. So if you want to talk to me, please approach me. My name is Ann Andrews. So we are engaged at a very high level. When you're around this state as long as I've been and active in politics as long as I've been, and have so many great legislators in not just the Black Caucus, but in the Attorney General's office. General Bonta and I were on the phone late last night. He's dealing with all the consumer issues about anti-gouging, anti-solicitation. And when the contractors come this way to help you rebuild, we're going to be moving legislation to be sure that you're not given a bill. We call it surge pricing. It happens in these communities so that you get fair contractors that are going to be limited by what they can charge you. And all those kind of consumer protection things are a whole bill package that we've been working on. You heard from me that the governor announced a $2.5 billion package, and that's in addition to FEMA and the communication between those agencies. California needs to do right by Californians right now. That package will roll out all kinds of benefits for your community. We are working on speeding up the demolition process. I know FEMA has their position. She gave a number of months. I'm not saying it's going to be faster, but I'm saying that we're going to be pushing on your government to be sure that it happens as fast as possible and as safe as possible for you to be allowed to re-enter in those precious homes and the land that you had. The other thing I want to tell you is that on Maui, and we just used the example of Maui because it was the most recent fire that suffered in a similar kind of devastation, that we have been working with the agencies there. We have been talking to the governor and the attorney general's office about providing trailers. Now, these are modular homes. For those of you that don't have a structure, you need what we've learned about the preciousness of community and the preciousness of Altadena to your community, and to getting back to be sure we don't lose any of you. When I tell you, please bring people back. Please come to FEMA and get assistance to get a hotel voucher and to get rehomed if you need to get off someone's couch in a hotel. Please make those needs known through the resources we're talking about today. But a modular home coming on your property in an amount of time where you're going to be able to reoccupy it, you'll be able to live on it, is something that is happening far too late in Maui, by the way, but that's a different structure. It's an island community, so we believe it's going to happen faster here. I have photos of the modular homes. They're quite beautiful. They look kind of like, Star Wars modular homes. We see them going onto properties. They're not just, ugly old trailers with formaldehyde in them. They're beautiful modular homes I have pictures of, and I can send around an article to the resource people that you can see. If you go to Maui.now, MauiNow.net, you'll find pictures of the trailers all over Maui being moved in. So those companies are being asked to start getting ready for you to come back to your property. Nobody wants to live outside their community. Other questions you might have about anything we can supply you with, this town hall is designed to answer your questions. But before I hand the mic back to my dear friend and colleague, Ben, know that one of the things we do is investigate the cause and origin of the fire. We have witnesses that know where it started, that know the tower that it started under, the line that fell. The laws that protect you and make utility companies responsible for this, thank goodness they're here in California, because we don't have them in other states. That line up there and the inspection of it that's underway, that our firm's involved with, that Ben is involved with us, will tell the story that this was caused by Southern California Edison, that the wind velocity on that ridge up there far exceeded, by the wind measurements that we have taken and we've studied at Andrews and Thornton, far exceeded the 60-mile-an-hour so-called de-energization cut rate. And we will have forensic proof of that. We have the top experts in the country working on the forensic aspects of this, inspection of the tower, the flash points, how the line fell. And I even have family members that called me and got us all on a phone call saying that exactly the time that it started and that they saw a fire up there, the phone call started in the community. So we'll be answering questions as long as we need to, but I'll hand the mic back to Ben.
Thank you, Attorney Andrews, for all that information. Please give her a round of applause as we start Q&A. And this is, we have time until the end to answer any of your questions. There's no bad question. Whatever questions you have, we want to answer them. And if you want to see us privately, You can do that. If you have a comment, it's open. Whatever is on your heart and on your mind. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mark. Well, it is, and I'm gonna let Ann talk about it a lot too. You're gonna have individual claims. What we saw in Malibu is the claims may be so much that it becomes a bankruptcy, and then the rules change a little bit. Thank God, Ann, who led the bankruptcy for PG&E as well as for the Purdue Pharma opioids litigation, is a master of that. So right now we're filing individual suits, but the courts may consolidate if you see a bankruptcy. And you understand this question? You want to go ahead?
So let's just talk about Eaton Fire, okay? We're here to talk about Eaton Fire today. We're happy to answer questions about the Palisades Fire, but it's very different. It's even a different energy provider. If you know anything about the way Los Angeles is mapped out, they're different energy providers. Your energy provider was Southern California Edison. That's who had that tower up there that had 3 lines on it, 2 220s and a 500, carrying enormous amounts of power across the San Gabriel Mountains. But to answer your question, the way we handle suits is you have an individual filed suit. We do not have a mass action of sorts where you're bunched in with a lot of other people. This is not a class action case. That's not the philosophy of Anderson Thornton. You're our client. You have a direct, and Ben Crump can certainly say, this is a personal service that we offer. If asked to represent any of you, it's a face-to-face contact through the best means we have possible, but the court will consolidate the action. So they'll be in one place in front of one judge, but you will have your individual case that will move forward through the process of the discovery and the litigation things that are way too complicated and our job to lead you through properly today, which we've done many, many times in fire cases. Let's talk about insolvency, okay? I am very comfortable in telling you that Southern California Edison has a $25 billion market cap. One of the first things we do in a fire is we investigate the at-fault party. We believe, as compared to other fires that will have challenges, that you have a solvent defendant in Southern California Edison with a very, very, very large market cap, meaning it's extremely solvent, profitable, healthy, and should be able to sustain with very little trouble the payment of all of your damages. As Ben said, not just 3/5 of your damages, all of your damages, 100% of your damages, and things that you might not even think of now that you will be entitled to under law. We do a very personal analysis of each claim, and obviously you're in some ways, and I know it's hard to find anything good about this situation, Southern California Edison is a premier energy provider in this state at this time. I do not predict a bankruptcy, and I'm very grateful to be able to tell you that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you for that question.
He got a follow-up. Did I answer the first part of your question? It'll be individual claims unless the court consolidates. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent question. Thank you so much, Mark. Now we've been here. Mark, thank you. I'm so sorry. No. No, Mark, we're here for you, sir. No. How long have you lived in your house, Mark?
Over 30 years.
30 years, my Lord.
We'll make it right. And we'll lift you up. And God will lift you up during this time.
No, Mark, I want to say this with all these witnesses. We're going to fight to make sure that your house is restored and that it's going to be better it's going to be better. We're going to persevere together. And we praying for you so much, Mark. God bless you. And after this here, we'll talk individually too. Thanks, Ash, if we make sure we follow up with them. What we have done is like any other case. If you see the commercials as a contingent matter, but we have reduced our fees because we know this is a tragedy. We've reduced our fees on personal injury, wrongful death to 25%, on property 30%. That is from against Con Energy. Your insurance claims and so forth, that's you. That's what you're entitled to. But when we go after the defendant, if Con Energy settles or if we go to trial, the percentage mark is 25% for personal injuries, 30% for property damages. I know the standard is 33 1/3 and 40%. Most lawyers are going to do that. We've reduced our fees because we understand how dire this situation is. And so, Mark, hopefully I answered your question, and we will talk a lot. Anytime, day or night, us and Earl, Camila, anybody, Kim, you will get us and we will talk about how we can solve the problems. Thank you so much. Yeah, give Mark a round of applause for his courage in being here. Our next question. Yes, sir. And thanks for all your help with travel too. How many homes did you lose? My Lord. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the 6th. You can still do that. The insurance company called me on the 6th.
Yes, sir.
I was in a meeting with my real estate attorney, and I never had a chance to get back to my insurance. So they closed at 5 o'clock on the 6th. I never made it to the insurance to get insurance for my property because that's what I was in motion to do.
Uh-huh.
And then on the 7th, the fire is coming farther over toward Lake Farrell. On the 8th, my house burned down, so I didn't have no insurance on none of my property.
Yeah.
Okay, so Well, he when I'm does, done with the Fair FEMA,
Act. Yeah.
They're only gonna allow me to get so much funds for one property. What do I do about the rest of my property?
We should definitely talk, but Ann has some information right now that.
So let's just talk about insurance. So it's a very, thank you so much for your question. It is probably the most complicated subject for a group like this. There are rights of cancellation. I know you didn't get to get your coverage, but there are rights of cancellation that are being exercised. Okay, that's the world we live in California. That's what we're trying to change in the legislature. That within a year after a catastrophic fire, any insurance company can cancel you. Okay, so the moratorium, one of the many things the governor has done, has pled with the big carriers and the banks on moratoriums on mortgages and cancellation of insurance. So those of you that have insurance, we're happy to help you with any of the claims issues. This is a public service we offer. It is a pro bono service. We're happy to engage with you on your insurance. I believe that you could qualify for the state program. I have to look into it, so forgive me if I can't answer you on the spot, but I know that you'll give me a chance as an attorney to research what your rights are to be part of the FAIR plan. The FAIR plan was put in place after the PG&E fires of 2017 and then the Paradise fire up in Paradise, the Camp Fire, to allow those that don't have insurance to be in a cooperative with the state, to have coverage within the state. Some of you may have the FAIR plan, some of you may have applied for it, but I promise you, if you engage with us and in that fashion, we will get that answer for you if you're part of the FAIR plan. I believe you are. But today, I can't answer that question without having a much deeper conversation with you, if that would be all right with you.
And Mark, obviously you will have a claim against the energy company
Yes.
and so forth.
Very big, very valid claim for, like, does we represent him?
Yes.
Yes, so he has pursued his claim against the energy company. And for all of those of you who are thinking about that, this is a difficult time. It's not, we want to get people housed. We want to get people food and shelter. We want to get people comfortable. That Altadena Rising is what we're here to assure you that it will come back and there will be an Altadena. But we're here to help with your legal consultation. If you need it, we're here.
And Mark, we'll talk a lot because I do think that there are certain things like Rock with you. I know Beyonce's foundation has reached out to me. People want to help. So we'll talk. If you, we got your information, you're talking to our paralegals, we'll go through a litany of people who are resources that want to help you immediately, financially and otherwise.
And your trust, that can still go forward. Your financial planning and your estate planning, let's just say all those documents where you want to protect your generational wealth, there's no reason why you should be discouraged. As a matter of fact, let's encourage people to go forward with the promise of generational wealth staying in the family, and that trust should be executed. We also have professionals for that. But think about your families and think about how multitude of subjects we can help you with, and there are resources for that. But the trust is important, and you should get engaged and get help on that.
Absolutely. And we have Thurgood, we have Kim, we have Earl, Camila, and then people like Cynic, Lulu, Ash. We want to make sure we hear all your issues and so forth so we can try to come up with solutions. I operate under the premise there are no problems, only solutions if we put our heads together. Okay. Great question. Yes, ma'am.
Hold on 1 second. Let me bring you this.
And if we get away, I might.
It's right here.
My question is, if you didn't have a total loss, can you still join the suit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And furthermore, in addition to that, I know Lolita was telling me about a lady, or maybe Lulu, who had respiratory issues after going through the fire. We want to hear about all those claims, because personal injuries are a real loss as well. If you lost your lung capacity or something because of the smoke inhalation. So we want, I'm sorry.
Very much so.
Oh yeah, so we want all those. I would prefer this, and Mark, I say this for you, brother, and everybody else. If you have a question, the only bad question is the question you don't ask, whether you ask it today or you ask it to one of the paralegals on the 800 number. What is the 800 number? Anybody have it? We have it on the flyers, but maybe some people want to put it in their phones now. Everybody can get the flyer with the 800 number. All right. People like Alan Shea know how to reach me day or night. Yeah, we here. We can do this together. Engaging you, educating you, and empowering you. What other questions? I know we don't want to keep you past the 2 o'clock hour. We have about 20 more minutes. Any questions at all? Yes, ma'am.
She's 84 years old. I'm her representative. And we filed the claim on the 13th, still haven't heard anything from California Fair Plan. She applied for FEMA. We can't get any help from FEMA because they said the insurance has to give a denial letter or a settlement. So we're just in limbo. So we want to know what steps to take.
So that's what I was trying to say before FEMA left. This is the trap, right? Which will help you navigate, will help you with absolutely no charge navigate those two entities. We know the Fair Plan, we're dealing with it in other cases. So please reach out to us at no charge to help you with that process. I didn't want her to leave without letting you all know that it's not as easy as just filing a form and having the government respond to you at the FEMA. But we have navigated that. I guarantee you a letter from a law firm that they know is experienced in this, that will meet with the FEMA people, that will come and advocate for you, moves your claim faster, and will get you results faster. I can't answer because she has a follow-up. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
How long can the insurance company take before they get back to us?
So that they need to get back to you in a reasonable amount of time. That's what the law requires. And that's a measurement that I can't give you a yardstick for today. But I'm telling you, the reasonableness will become much more clear when they get a letter from a law firm.
And I was going to I'm adding to what Ann says. Power concedes nothing except to a demand. They're going to try to do what they do. Insurance companies are notorious for delay. You have to have a zealous advocate who is going to be willing to make a demand and then sue them. I mean, that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to sue them to make them act right.
It just came to my mind that part of my ask of the Attorney General office, Robert Bonta, your elected leader, the top legal officer in your state, under his consumer department and the Department of Insurance is the FAIR Plan. We have a very, very dotted line relationship with his office. I will find out how to expedite your claim, how to get a state intervention, an ombudsman, or an actual person that we can engage with at the state level to answer those questions. And all of you are going to need that. And they're standing there ready to be asked to do things like this. So we know these electeds, they are here to serve you, and we will see to it that you get that question answered.
Thank you, Ann. Yes, sir.
Here you go. Let me get this to you.
My name is Michael Estalis, and
Microphone.
My name is Michael Estalis, and I own some properties. I lost my personal home, another 4 homes, and 43 buildings, basically.
You said 43 buildings?
43 apartment units.
Okay.
Yeah. My personal home and 4 other homes, which I was renting.
Yes,
probably everybody knows the units right next to Rite Aid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so those were gone. And actually, we have photos, from Getty, was in
Yes, sir.
LA Times, on MSNBC, etc. Me and my son, actually, we did go early morning on the 8th. We abandoned our home around 12:30 at night. Nobody really let us know. And so, our neighbors, actually 2 old neighbors,
Yes,
perished in the fire. So a lot of people which lived there for up to 75 years and so forth,
Yes,
they
sir.
never thought that the fire is going to come down. As I say, I am a builder. I kind of helped change that community, and my tenants, live there. Nobody ever lived my places because I offered, affordable housing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that, they definitely have to check, because I do have some experience as a builder, and I, build fire hydrants, and they have to be tested every 6 months, and also the water pressure, and something happened here.
Yeah.
And our community should not have gone through what they've gone if, the authorities would have done their job.
Yeah.
And this is why everybody here has to work for.
And Michael, we want to look at everybody who had anything to do with you losing your home and your businesses and your apartments.
Yes.
And so we want to look at all of it. And I know it's going to take a lot of builders. There's some other builders and bankers, people here. We'll let them introduce themselves before we leave. But it's going to be vital for people like you to stay the course, because you're a community resource in providing affordable housing.
Yes, and like I talked to, we have, I was friends with, some small black builders, which, we
Yes.
all work together. Actually, the person next door, he built his units and he provided, low-income housing for Section 8 and so forth. And he's not. And
Please stay in Altadena. Please let us help you stay.
well, what I'm trying to make a point here,
Please
we
do.
did get together, and a lot of them, they're not coming back. Okay, just people would have to know that this is the idea. So you have to encourage these people that we are supporting them, okay? And also I have some questions. If we're gonna have the Army Corps of Engineers here, will it be some kind, let's say they, through a magic, okay, because we do know how the government works. Through a magic, let's assume that they will do a good job and they'll be able to clean up our properties.
That's right.
In time, which, quote unquote, I don't believe it, okay?
I-
But let's assume
You
that
have a
this will
reason to be
happen.
suspicious,
Yeah.
yes.
Will there be any kind of impound on the land of the people which do not return? Would the government have some kind of a charge for the work being done?
So is your question whether or not there will be a charge to demolish the land and to remediate it from
provide the
toxins?
clean- Yes,
No,
okay.
no. Your government's, the county of Los Angeles, I'm sorry, the county of Los Angeles, FEMA, the EPA, and all of the various environmental groups that must declare the land safe to re-inhabit, right?
Okay,
They all work together. They're here.
okay.
We would be happy to assist you to find out what the timeline is. You're a business. You're a businessman, and your Section 8 housing is critical to the redevelopment of this community. And we do owe this man a round of applause. That it's people like you that made Altadena a place where people could affordably live in this beautiful community that's so beloved by so many. And it won't be missed. It'll come back. So your business loss is usually put very accelerated. So for all of you who have business losses, and anybody, you can ask me as many questions as you want. I'll stay after to talk to you about what my experience is, which is pretty great now. For people who have business losses, it's as important that people come back to live as it is to come back to work. And if you have a business loss, if you operated a business out of your home, if you owned an apartment or rented an apartment, if you owned one of the many businesses that was burnt down or know somebody that was, they have to stay, they have to come back, and they are vital to rebuilding this community. We're happy to stay and answer your questions for as long as you need. Maybe after the town hall's over would be best, because you have a very, very deep, very serious, I know it goes without saying, you probably spent your entire career building this asset in your portfolio that you so generously shared with the community. Please let us help you. Please let us talk with you about as many questions as you have. We will have answers for all of them.
Thank you, Michael. We want to get to some more questions before we have to give the preacher his cathedral back. Yeah, Alan, and then the lady back there. Raise your hands, because I think we got time for like 4 or 5 more questions. We're going to try to do rapid fire.
Thank you for rapid fire.
Thank you.
This is
Alan, we can't talk to you individually after we leave here.
Right. So this is about dealing with our elder parents who are not here. Our family owned the Little Red Hen, the oldest Black-owned business in Altadena, over 52 years. It's all gone. My mother left a trust. So as a result of the legal issues that we're dealing with now, should one of the family members file a lawsuit for property and other things? So
Absolutely.
I want you to spell that out for people so they'll know how to engage their parents or grandparents so that they don't miss this window of opportunity.
No, that's an excellent question, Alan. And rapid fire, we want you to call us so we can get the process going.
Wealth will be protected by this kind of question and the answers that the law can give him and his family. We're happy to help.
Thanks for that question. Next, hey, Ash, we got to move it. Let's go. Yes, ma'am.
This is for also suggestions as well?
Yes.
This meeting?
If you go quick, though, because.
So it's real quick.
Okay.
One of my suggestions is that, well, it would be nice if we had an alert system when there's a massive situation like this, because when there's an Amber alert, it goes off and it's
okay.
until you
Okay.
answer.
Not to cut you off. We will be addressing the OEM, which is the alert system that did not operate properly. That is a critical focus. I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm not supposed to wander, but you will be protected when you come back. I promise you that. Investigations, hearings, promises of the alert system being applied under the conditions, and then backup systems with the energy company, backup systems to that. So you will get like Amber Alert multiple times. We promise you that is going to be a topic of discussion for people coming back here. Thank you.
And I'll say this, sister, I said this on a George Floyd documentary and so forth. Once we make them pay higher values for our life and our property and so forth, oh, they ain't gonna do it again, because if America understands anything, they understand money. It's capital. So we got to hit them in the pocketbooks, make them pay. I bet you'll get alerts next time. You can take that to the bank. Next. Yes, ma'am, quickly. Okay. 1 second. She been standing.
I'll say it. Thank you for this forum.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
name is Bonnie Sherman. I have lived in Altadena 40 years. My concern is I'm blessed that our house has survived, but toxicity is all over the place. The chemicals, the burns. My concern is for our elderly community. Some of these persons are back in their homes. I want to know what the EPA and LA County Health Department is distributing, or non-discrimination of information of what the health hazards are that are from the fire department.
That's a very important question. And as Attorney Andrews said, we're going to be talking to the legislatures, talking to the county officials, making sure they're doing air quality tests on the community and so forth. But you are right to be concerned, because things move slow. And when they're going to get to those air quality tests, we don't know. But what we will do is keep pushing them. With people like Allen and Cynic and them, the activist community, we got to stay in their face at these city hall meetings, these county commission meetings. I know Camila, her family lives here in town council. She's already asking those questions to us about what can we do to protect the people right now. So we welcome that question, and we'll try to get educated on the issue so we can inform you as well. Thank you, Queen. Yes, ma'am. You want to?
And I lost a tenant. I also lost like my personal stuff that was in the garage and everything, and I was in the middle of rebuilding. I have permit issues and all that, but I also have California Fair Plan, and they have not responded to me.
So
is it, what kind of material can we organize something where there's fire abatement material that rebuild with? And what kind of insurance are we going to be able to get, since this is such a fire risk?
So you asked a lot of questions, and we can probably on a individual basis answer a lot of your questions. But the short answer is this here. Yeah, you got the insurance claim through the government insurance. You got to make it. No insurance, no company is just going to go give you stuff without you demanding it. When I was a little boy, I was taught a closed mouth don't get fed. You got to push it. You got to get a good lawyer, and you got to challenge them. If you go through the path of least resistance and you don't push for to have a zealous advocate like a Ann Andrews or a Ben Crump or Earl or somebody, they ain't gonna do nothing. That's what they counting on. They counting on you not doing that. You getting tired. You giving up. You just say, oh, I'll take pennies on the dollar. That's what they counting on. So those questions there, you need to get with us on the paralegal, and let's go through them one at a time. Because, yeah, and so let's talk in detail, because in a general setting like this here, you need more in-depth answers. Well, we know they always try to devalue our community. So you got the right person, the right day, everything to fight for our community. Yes, you got to get the question.
Yes, right here.
Okay.
My name is Ronnie Arts. Thank you, Mr. Crump, for
inviting us. We are a fire restoration company that specializes in fire restoration, insurance claims. I'm not going to talk long, but on the back table is all the information. When you say the insurance company is not getting in touch with you, you go with us. We will make sure they get in touch. Allstate is in town tomorrow because of two clients that I have up there. We made that happen.
What's your phone number, brother? We know we're gonna go to the table.
Yes, it's Evergard, EVRGARD Construction. You can find us in the paper, but we got a lot of information back there on the back table. Would love to talk to you guys to make your claims go faster.
Wonderful, thank you. And I know they told me to announce the phone number. If you don't have the flyer, the phone number to contact us is 833-497-3473. Again, that's 833-497-3473. The last four numbers spell out the letter fire on your telephone. All right, two more questions, and then we're gonna have everybody go to the individual booths and tables. Let's get new people. Yes, ma'am.
I thought it was my turn.
There are so many outsiders from corporations, government, whatever, some of which I know personally, who want to know how to help. And there are distractions, there is distrust. They don't want to give to big organizations. So streamlining of communication is so critical right now, but there are people, even in South LA, even in, South Bay where I am, we've watched some things happen in RPV and in Palisades. We know what can be done. We have extra homes, Airbnbs, things to give now while all of this is slow. So is there a one website, a one number, something where folks can trust a coalition of people or join a coalition of people?
I know you can trust our number to get you the information. Yeah. And we're trying to bring all these resources together. I give a lot of credit to people like Ash and Senate for always for the people. These activists are trying to short resources to get them to you immediately. That's why we have Rock with you, the young ladies who are trying to give out checks in 7 days. I mean, we heard about that and we said, that's who we wanted our town hall meeting because people need stuff now. Yes, sir. And this will be we'll take one other question after this and then we will go have everybody individualize.
Yes, sir. I've been trying to get in touch with you for several years of a different case. Is there somebody that I can talk to?
Yes, sir. Thurgood Wynn will be able to talk with you. All right.
Okay.
Any last questions before we adjourn? Yeah.
What the gentleman was saying over here about his rental properties. What I did see that if you do not clean your structure,